we have a quorum, it should go fast.
Yeah. We will- Well, I hope not. So I have 728. Situated here.
Send your coupon to you by text right now.
Okay. Buckle my shoe.
Oh, thank you. Hello, everybody. Hello.
Hello.
Hello?
I got you. Is Reverend Bone on the call right now? There's only one possibility. Reverend Bone, are you on the call? I'll give him a second.
Little entertainment, singing.
Yeah, a little humming going on here. Well, I got got 7:31, so we're going to get started here. Reverend Bone, are you on the call? Okay. Well,
No rubber.
going to call the meeting of the Lincoln Park Mayor and City Council to order for the meeting of July 6th, 2020. And if you would all rise for the Pledge of Allegiance to our flag, and then remain standing for a moment of silence for all of those in the in our Lincoln Park community that have suffered the loss of a loved one this past week, including Ernie Lloyd, who was a former member of the Lincoln Park Public Safety Commission. Pledge allegiance to the flag
To the
of the
flag
United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation,
One
under
nation.
God, indivisible,
On
liberty and justice for all.
Justice for all.
Well,
Okay, thank you, everyone, for that. If we could have roll call, please.
Dave's got Councilpersons Breeding,
Present on the phone.
Higgins,
President on the phone?
Kelsey,
President on the phone.
Parkinson, Ross, Salcido,
Here, can you hear me though?
yes, and Mayor Carnes.
Here. Okay, good evening, everyone. Hope that you all had a great 4th of July, a nice holiday over there. I know that the weather was very nice for everyone. To the lead off of my comments here, just as we look back, our COVID-19 crisis dating back, well, mid-March for the community, I just want to say a thank you to our residents, because they have really done a terrific job through all of this. I mean, through the parks closing and all the different, City Hall closing and all the things that we've been through, I think our community has really, well, not come together because of social distancing and everything, but they abided by the rules and are doing what is necessary for us to get out of this. And the numbers reflect in our community to where they are steadily decreasing down, where it's less than one new case a day, and it hasn't been that way for a long time. If you ask the fire chief, he would be up to date on that information. But whereas numbers are rising in other parts of the state, folks, you're doing a great job. But I only ask that you continue to do so for a bit, because as numbers are seen elsewhere, it's not over yet, and we need to take every precaution, and so we don't have to go through this again. With that, I have a notice from our assessing office that they wanted to share that they just got a good report from the state of Michigan that correcting a long-time problem that has been, or as a corrective action plan that we've had with the state, but they've come in and really did the job for us. In the simplest terms, they wrote that this means we have corrected everything the state had issues with regarding land values and ECFs. We need to comply with the corrective action plan, but this is a huge step forward. I want to thank the City Council and City Management for their support in moving forward with correcting issues in the assessing department. So we still have a little bit to go, but they've done a fantastic job for the short time in which that they have been in here. To touch briefly on our loans that we have out for the city through the CDBG for COVID-19. We'll be discussing a committee to review applicants later on. But for the business owners and folks that may know business owners, let them know about this application that is there. This is for businesses in the city that have a certificate of occupancy and are registered with the city clerk as a business. And there are certain criteria that goes to their employees, and whether their employees are under the maybe not the poverty level, but have been affected by COVID-19. Go to our website, please, and take a look at the application and put in for it, and you can give it a shot, because we have money that's there to help you out. Okay, and I'm going to go contrary a little bit to, I'm going to take a break in the mayor's comment because I see Reverend Bone of the Lincoln Park Church of Christ coming on, or I thought he was. Russ, are you, Reverend Bone, are you with us? James, if you could unmute him, if he is muted.
He doesn't appear to be connected to audio.
Okay. Reverend Bone, can you hear us? Okay, there's no audio, so we're gonna pretty much go go back to that. All right, well that's enough for mayor's comments today. We're gonna go into the consent agenda. Reverend Bone, are you on? Have you got audio yet? All right. We had the Reverend that was going to do our invocation for us. I wanted to give him an opportunity for that to happen, but we're having technical issues with that. So we will get to hear from him on another time. It was resolved that the following items listed under the consent agenda be approved as presented to the mayor and city council. 1, approved minutes, regular meeting held June 15, 2020. 2, approved minutes, study session, marijuana ordinance, held June 15, 2020. 3, participation, residential rehab sewer lateral.
So move.
Support. Support.
Okay, Carrie, did you get the
I'm
move?
sorry, excuse me. Mayor,
Yes, go ahead.
I would like a note put in the minutes from the last meeting that to reflect the fact that we're canceling the July food truck event on the 25th and the 26th, just so that the minutes will accurately show that we're not having that event. If we could just put a note underneath the approval of the regular meeting minutes, a simple note. Carrie knows how to do that. So I would like that, please.
Okay. Is there further discussion? Carrie, you did get the mover and supporter?
I did.
Then clerk, call the roll.
Councilpersons Breeding,
Yes.
Higgins,
Yes.
Kelsey,
Yes.
Salcido,
Yes.
and Mayor Carnes.
Yes. And what the council president was discussing was the food event that was very successful that happened about a week ago or so. But the people that put that on have decided not to hold it in July as they were planning initially. So that's what happened with that. So our first action item we have.
I'm sorry, Mayor, I do have sound now. This is Dr. Russell Bone.
You have sound? Well, we'll tell you what.
Yeah.
And everybody, we're going to go a little out of order for our invocation, but go ahead, sir. James, could you unmute?
And Father, we would like to bow our heads in front of you this day in honor of this city as we enter this meeting. And we pray, Father, especially our hearts are concerned about the Lloyd family and the passing of Ernie, a World War II vet and a Vietnam vet and in the Navy. And we're so grateful for him, Father. And we're asking you that, thanking you for his public safety commissioner service, and we're thankful for that. And we pray you'll bless the Lloyd family in their mourning, Father. We're asking you to be with the council and the mayor and And we pray you bless them with wisdom beyond their years, Father. And we ask that our city will continue to be peacemakers. And we ask you to help us have a passion for peace in our community. And we're praying, Father, all of these things in the name of Jesus Christ, our Lord. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you, Reverend, for quite
Sorry, I couldn't get the sound going.
quite event. Well, that's all right. Thank you, sir. We appreciate you taking the time to be with us tonight. So our first action item we have is the sale of city-owned property at 716 Cleophas. And in background, the city acquired this. We have the cover letter from Doreen Christian, a director of the Office of Community Planning and Development. And in background, the city acquired this property on the first right of refusal. The purpose was to renovate using Community Development Block Grant Housing Stock Improvement Program funds to sell the property to a low moderate income family. Once we could get into the house and the building department, John Myers, inspected the interior of the property, it was decided that the cost to renovate the house would far exceed the price it would be sold for under HUD guidelines. We have already invested $12,155.55 into the property using CDBG funds. So whereas the city acquired 716 Cleophas from Wayne County under the first right of refusal, and whereas after the lead inspection and the building department inspection, it was determined that it was not cost effective for the city to renovate the property and sell it to a low moderate income family per HUD regulations. Whereas according to the first right of refusal regulations, the city is not allowed to gain income from the sale of the property. Now therefore be it resolved that the city-owned house located at 716 Cleophas, ID number 45-008-03-0075-002, be offered for sale as is for a minimum bid of $13,000 with the following stipulation: that the house be brought up to the recommended city standards, which see attached, and all permits properly pulled at the building department. The renovation must be completed within 12 months of closing or the property reverts to the city.
So moved.
Support. Support.
Okay. Carrie, do you have both? Mover and supporter? I'm not hearing anything to the contrary, so discussion on this?
That's where the Cherry Rider, just quick questions.
Yes, sir, go ahead.
Can you hear me? All right. How long has the city owned the property on 716 Cleophas?
And we have Doreen.
Anybody know that?
Doreen Christian, would you be able to answer that?
I'm looking it up right now in my report. Luckily, I can get into them. Let's see. Hang on one second. 716. We acquired it from the state on September 20th of 2016.
2016 or 15? I'm sorry, I misheard.
16. 16.
Okay, thank you.
And my last question is, it's going to look like it's going to cost $90,000 to get up to code. Is it going to be priced on the market in that area? That's why we didn't do it?
The reasoning we cannot do the property is the guidelines that are set by with HUD. We figured it would cost about $110,000 for the city to renovate it to the standards that are needed for HUD. And then you add in the extra fundings that we have already in it and what we could sell it for a low mod income family. I'd be losing too much of HUD's money because I'd have to drop the price so much so that it'd be affordable to a low moderate income family. So another person with the way the pricing of the houses are in that area could renovate it and sell it to anybody and get the right pricing for it. It's just I have to keep it below a certain threshold to make it doable for a low mod family.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, and further discussion? All right, hearing none, then clerk call the roll. we seem to have lost our clerk for a moment. We'll give her a second to come back. While we're waiting, Doreen, how wide is that lot? What frontage on Quailfus does it have?
Mayor, this is John Myers.
Hi, John.
I believe that's between 49 and 53 feet.
So it's a substantial sized lot.
Yeah, the house actually measures out to be about a 1,600 square foot livable space.
Oh, very good. All right, we have city clerk not on camera, but she is in the chambers here, a safe distance away. I think she should be able to be heard.
I hope so.
Give it a try.
All right. You ready for the vote?
All right, is everyone able to hear Carrie?
No,
Try,
No?
I
try
cannot hear.
again.
Is the button on the?
Yeah, it's on.
Try it again.
Can you guys hear me now?
A little bit.
All right. I'll try to talk
I
loud.
can hear you.
Okay. Ready? Councilpersons Breeding,
Yes.
Kelsey. Can't hear him. Councilman Kelsey,
I don't see him on the call.
Yes.
Oh, there he is.
Higgins.
Yes, sorry, I dropped the call. I apologize.
That's
Yes,
okay.
I
Okay.
vote yes.
Salcido
Yes.
and Mayor Carnes.
Yes. All right, this,
I never heard my name, but yeah.
Oh, I thought you said yes. Maybe Mr. Kelsey said it twice. I apologize. I thought one was you.
okay,
All right.
the wonders of science.
I know, right?
All right.
Technology.
Light should move closer to town.
Our next action item has a cover letter from our city attorney. And I'll go through his letter to Mr. Curzon, our city manager. Recently discussed the proposed sale of a parcel on Chandler near Outer Drive that would be transferred to Community Care Services for either the construction of a new facility or related purposes, including off-street parking. The parcel was sold to Vic Rivera and his wife, Lucinda Rivera, as a part of the development of their medical facility in 1986. The parcel has remained vacant. Community Care Services has conducted due diligence deed research and has determined that the city of Lincoln Park needs to extinguish a potential right of reversion clause in the quitclaim deed of 1986 in order to afford a clear title. The parcel is otherwise fallow and void of any development potential beyond servicing the adjacent nonprofit due to its sequestered status. I recommend consideration of the execution of the quitclaim deed of the Rivera family to facilitate the orderly transfer of the parcel. I will not opine at present the viability of claim filed by the City of Lincoln Park and Wayne County Circuit Court to enforce such revisionary rights, nor I will predict the potential for success the same. Such an action would be costly and burdensome and perhaps not in the best interest of the city, as there exists a present benefit for the government if the property is developed by CCS. All right, so Resolution before us is whereas a due diligence and title search by Community Care Services for the parcel located on Chandler Street near Outer Drive has revealed a right of reversion clause in the quitclaim deed from 1986. And whereas the city has no interest in laying claim to said property and the city attorney recommends the execution of a quitclaim deed to facilitate the orderly transfer of the property. Be it resolved, the mayor and city council authorize the city attorney to proceed with and execute a quitclaim deed for the parcel located on Chandler near Outer Drive, parentheses, parcel ID 45002040032000, end of parentheses.
So moved.
Support.
Okay. Did you get the mover? Okay, very good. Then we have discussion?
I got a question to the chair, if I may.
Yes, sir. I think we lost you for a minute, Councilman Kelsey. Want to try it again?
One?
He's gone. He gone.
We'll give him a second to reconnect here. Well, while we're waiting for Councilman Kelsey to come back on, does anyone else have any thing that they would like to ask in reference to this resolution?
While we're waiting through the chair, I guess I could just ask.
Yes?
Yeah,
ma'am.
could,
Okay.
I see.
Did we already sell this to them?
I have our city attorney approaching a microphone here. Well, question was, did we already sell this to them?
It was given to Dr. Rivera as part of the development project through the Economic Development Corporation back in 1986. So the actual sales price would have been for the entire parcel, but in this particular parcel, I believe the city transferred to him with the right of reversion if he didn't use it, because it was such a low cost that it would revert back to the city, arguably if he failed to develop the property. And of course, it's been some 34 years since that time, and the city hasn't acted. The purchasers convinced that they could prevail if the city attempted to execute the right of reversion. However, the city would have to go to circuit court to order that, and if you've visited the property, it's such a small landlocked piece that there's no financial interest in the city either way. It's part of a larger project for the Riveras, and as you know, it's adjacent to the CCS building.
Did everyone receive that?
Yeah, that answers my question, but we should at least charge them the recording fees.
Yep. Yeah, I don't imagine, Council President, Your Honor, and Council, that would be the problem. The point is that the city, even if it had a nominal or minuscule interest in doing it, the development for CCS must be of such a large magnitude at this time that their title company and their insurers want the city to forego any claim. And that's why they've prepared the documents, they've done the research, the city has expended no resources other than my meager rates to take care of this. Or not so meager.
And I interrupted Larry's question, I'm sorry.
Okay, Council.
No, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, go ahead, sir. You back with us?
No, I dropped the call, and then I heard Donna, and Donna asked the same question I was going to ask. So I'm all set.
Okay, very good. Is there further discussion? Hearing none?
I put in, don't see a word anywhere in the document. Tell me sign this lot, because I've seen words to sign.
Councilman Higgins,
And I'm sorry if I'm,
you're
hello?
yes, you're coming across a little garbled. Let's give it another try here.
Can I ask to see the lot?
The size of the lot, is that what we're asking?
Correct.
You know, I don't know, Your Honor. It would be in all the documents, there, the size of the property.
Okay, the city attorney does not know the size of the parcel at this point.
I don't have those documents.
But it's not buildable.
No, it's not buildable. It's,
It is not a buildable parcel.
Right.
Landlocked or something.
Okay, that would answer my question.
It's not,
Thank you.
it's not any great acreage, and I'm sorry, I don't have the plot here with me. I dropped the information off at the management office. If I had more, I would answer it, but they included a sketch in the documentation as to how large the parcel is. It's like a small parking lot, or perhaps an additional building attached to it, but they're not going to build a large medical facility or a hospital. It's not large enough for that.
Okay. Do we have further discussion?
Oh, it's pretty
Clerk,
near,
call the
so.
roll.
Councilperson Salcido?
Yes.
Higgins?
Yes.
Breeding?
Yes.
Kelsey?
Yes.
And Mayor Carnes?
Yes. All right, our next action item is to establish application review committee loan program. As part of the resolution, though, it calls for another council person to be on this, so I think we're going to have to sort of have a discussion on who that person would be before we go into the actual resolution here. So first is...
Well, I definitely will volunteer.
I would second with the chair. I'd have no problem with the council president being on there.
No, she hasn't, I don't think that she's on any other committees, so we can, unless there's an objection, we can move forward.
Through the chair, I have no objection to her being on there.
Alrighty. Then we will go with...
I agree, Donna would be good for that.
Thank you.
Okay, so whereas the mayor and council adopted the budget for the city's portion of CARES Act funding on May 18, 2020, with $300,000 being allocated to small business loans/grants. And whereas the guidelines were passed on June 15th and the scoring criteria was on the last page of the guidelines. Now therefore, be it resolved that the mayor and council of the city of Lincoln Park establish a CARES Act Small Business Loans Grant Committee consisting of city manager James Curzon, building official John Myers, director of community planning Doreen Christian, Mayor Thomas Carnes, and council president Donna Breeding. I'll move on.
So moved.
Oh,
I'll support.
there you go. So do we have discussion? Then clerk, call the roll.
On that. Okay. Mayor Carnes?
Yes.
Councilman Kelsey?
Yes.
Breeding?
Yes.
Higgins?
Yeah.
And Salcido?
Yes.
Okay. Are we good? Next action item that we have is resolved that a study session of the mayor and city council be held on July 20, 2020 at 6:30 p.m. on the topic of funding options for the city of Lincoln Park's water and sewer capital improvement plan. Be it further resolved that pursuant to Governor Whitmer's Executive Order 2020-129, the meeting will be held electronically via Zoom.
So moved.
Support.
Okay, discussion?
Question to the chair. We are also on the agenda is an item for the contract negotiations, I think, right after this one with the sewer. Is that a right enough time a half an hour to get into some of that sewer issue and then jump right into the contractual item we're going to talk about? Just a point of information, just asking.
This meeting is before this.
If I may, the contract negotiations would be going on, the discussion would be at 6, so from 6 to 6:30. And then we go from 6:30 to 7:30 with the study session.
I guess my question is that'll be enough time the opposite way then. If we do, yes, just like you're saying, James, we would have enough time for a half an hour to go through the final whatever, and that was the only issue that be in front of us is the fire contract, right? We're not going to talk about anything else in the closed door, right?
No, that's the plan. That is to give you guys a quick overview of what's going on there.
Okay. All right. I'm fine. Thank you.
All right, further discussion? Then clerk, call the roll.
Councilpersons Kelsey,
Yes.
Breeding,
Yes.
Higgins,
Yes.
Salcido,
Yes.
and Mayor Carnes.
Yes. Then also resolved that a special meeting of the mayor and city council be held on July 20, 2020 at 6 p.m. for the purpose of a closed session to discuss collective bargaining.
So move with the, okay. Support.
Support.
Okay, do we have a mover and supporter?
Was that Councilwoman Breeding and Councilman Higgins? Is that what you saw?
I believe it was Councilman Higgins that did the supporting on that. Well, that's what we're going with.
Okay.
Is there a discussion?
Through the chair, should we include the language about the governor's Zoom electronic thing? Should that be included on this also?
We can.
Or not necessarily?
Oh, well,
Not
it
necessary.
can be to remain consistent with, we might as well. Is that good
Thank you.
with the supporter?
Yes.
Okay, very good. Are there further discussion? Clerk, call the roll, please.
Councilpersons Breeding,
Yes.
Higgins,
Yes.
Kelsey,
Yes.
Salcido,
Yes.
and Mayor Carnes.
Yes. Next action item that we has a cover letter from Chief of Police Raymond Waters, and they're requesting permission to send Detective Christopher Kowalski to attend the Cell Phone Technology and Forensic Data Recovery School. The purpose of this class is to expose the attendee to proficient and effective investigations utilizing available databases and cellular usage records. Major topics include types of cellular records available, methods to acquire cellular records, understanding them, proven ways to display cellular records in a court of law, understanding the usage and manner in cell tower records, different types of cell phone technologies, how to identify them, cell phone connection hardware, cell phone software, cell phone data and evidence seizure, cell phone resources on the internet, legal issues, and case law pertaining to cell phone use. Resolved that the mayor and council authorize Detective Christopher Kowalski to attend the Cell Phone Technology and Forensic Data Recovery School being held at the Macomb Criminal Justice Training Center, East Campus in Clinton Township, Michigan, August 3, 2020 through August 7, 2020. The cost of the school is $695. A police department vehicle will be used. Meal expenses will be subject to the city's travel policy. Be it further resolved, funds for the course to come from the police department's training account 101-305-960.
So moved.
Support.
Support.
Okay, very good. Chief Waters, will this result in any overtime? Or loss of work, I guess?
building.
Chief Waters is on the call, but Chief Waters, can you hear me?
Through the chair, Your Honor,
Yes, sir, go ahead.
the fiscal impact, it says it will not cause any shortages or overtime.
Oh, okay, so I missed that on the cover. Thank you, sir, that covers it. Never mind, Chief. Is there further discussion?
Question to the chair, if I may.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Is the sergeant going to come back and train the trainer with the other officers so that we can spread this information? Or how's that going to work? Or do we need to send 2 people instead of 1? I know it changes the resolution, but my question is either one or the other. Is he going to come back and kind of hold a little training session so that he spreads the word among the other people? Or how does that work? I guess is what I was asking.
Well, I imagine
This
that,
class,
oh, go ahead.
this class does not make him an instructor. It's just to show him how to do it. He can show the other detectives what he's learned, but it doesn't make him an instructor on this one.
Okay, Chief. I was just making sure because it sounds really important, and with technology being what it is, and I just want to make sure that we share it or we send more off, just so it gets more people knowledgeable. Because to me, it's very important, especially with today's technology and stuff like that. That's why I was asking, but that's fine. I have no problem with that.
And I imagine that Detective Kowalski would become then a great resource for folks that, or officers that run into problems. And you'd be able to contact him, you'd be able to help out, just like it would be for other departments. He'd be a great resource for that. We have further.
Sorry.
Oh, do we have further discussion? All right. Then clerk, call the roll, please.
Councilpersons Kelsey,
Yes.
Breeding,
Yes.
Higgins,
Yes.
Salcido,
That's Salcido, yes.
He was.
and Mayor Carnes.
Yes. We seem to be having a little delay.
That's why.
We go. All right, so the next action item that we have has a cover letter from John Kazoo, our Director of Department of Public Services. And in background, the Department of Public Services is looking to replace aging vehicles in the fleet. The DPS would like to waive the bid process and use the City of Rochester Hills Co-op award process and VersaLift Midwest My Deal contract number 071B77000166. The truck that the DPS is requesting to purchase is a single axle 39,000-pound chassis with VersaLift 10-foot dump equipment plow and salt spreader. So the resolution is, be it resolved that the mayor and city council hereby agree to waive the bid process and purchase a 2020 Freightliner with the dump equipment, plow and salt spreader using the City of Rochester Hills Co-op award process and My Deal with a price not to exceed $149,478. Funds to come from motor pool account number 661-932-983000.
So moved.
Support with a
Support.
question.
Support. That's fine.
Okay, Council President, go ahead.
What is the name of the company that we're purchasing this from?
This would actually be from Wolverine Ford out of Dearborn.
Could we include that wording in the resolution so it says who we're paying?
And it should, and I apologize. That was a mistake on my part.
Okay.
That is John Kazoo, who's just speaking, our DPS Director.
Wolverine, okay.
I was waiting for our clerk to, okay, is there further discussion?
Yes, Your Honor. Quick question or comment?
Yes, sir, go ahead.
I did see the old dump truck is 37 years old. It's got like 77,000 miles. And it's pretty rusty, so I think we're in need of a new dump truck. In my opinion.
Okay, Councilman, you faded out at the end. We lost the last half of your message there. I heard that there was a 37-year-old vehicle, but I did not hear after that.
And it's rusted out. It's been a lot of miles.
Yep.
That's all. Just we're in need of a dump truck. That's all.
Okay. Very good. Further discussion?
We get our money's worth out of our truck.
We did get our money's worth out of the last one.
Yeah. Okay. Further discussion? All right. Clerk, call the roll.
Councilperson Salcido,
Yes.
Breeding,
Yes, as corrected.
Higgins,
Yes.
Kelsey,
Yes.
and Mayor Carnes.
Yes. Next item also has a cover letter from our DPS director, John Kazoo. In this one, the DPS would like to waive the bid process and use the state of Michigan's bid price under my bid contract 071 B like boy 7700181 at Gorno Ford. The trucks that the DPS is requesting to purchase are a Ford F-250 4x4 Super Cab pickup with 6.5 foot bed and a Ford Trans 150 LR cargo van. So resolve that the mayor and city council hereby waive the formal bid process and purchase the Ford F-250 4x4 Super Cab pickup with 6.5 foot bed for $34,116 and the Ford Trans 150 LR cargo van for $29,116 under the state of Michigan bid at Gorno Ford's funds to come from motor pool account 661-932-983000.
So moved.
So move. Support.
Very good. Discussion?
Your Honor, this is Chair.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Yes, once again, the pickup truck is like 21 years old, and it's got 90,000 miles, and this was a resident store, the insurance company won't even fix it, so it's definitely we're in need of a pickup and a van.
Okay. The further discussion? All right, clerk, call the roll.
Councilpersons Kelsey,
I would just like to, if I may.
Yes, go ahead.
I was just gonna commend the DPS for how well they have held our vehicles together all this time. Everything we're buying is in bad need of replacement. That's all.
Okay. Anything further? The clerk, call the roll.
Councilpersons Kelsey,
Yes.
Higgins,
Yes.
Breeding,
Yes.
Salcido,
Yes.
and Mayor Carnes.
Yes. Next item has a cover letter from our Chief of Police, Raymond Waters. And the Lincoln Park Police Department is requesting permission from mayor and council to waive the bid process and allow the police department to purchase 3 new 2020 Ford Explorers to be used for police road patrol. The police department will purchase the vehicles from Signature Ford, a My Deal dealer, who has provided a state bid quote for the 3 vehicles. And then we will go to the, my fingers to work here. Whereas the Lincoln Park Police Department is requesting to purchase 3 2020 Ford Explorers. Be it resolved that mayor and council authorize the police department to waive the bidding process and purchase 3 2020 Ford Explorers for a total cost of $103,662 from Signature Ford, a qualifying state bid pricing dealership. Be it further resolved, funds for the purchase of the three 2020 Ford Explorers to come from the Police Department's forfeiture capital account 265-320-983-000 VH04.
So moved.
So move.
Okay, we had a mover or there was two movers, so we have a support.
Support.
All right. Then open it up for discussion.
If I may, I'm just pleased that we're able to take it from the drug forfeiture account rather than the general fund, since the city's finances are kind of up in the air, but this is wonderful. Thank you.
I agree. Anyone else? Okay, clerk, call the roll.
Councilpersons Higgins,
Yes.
Breeding,
Yes.
Kelsey,
Yes.
Salcido,
Yes.
and Mayor Carnes.
Yes. Next item is a companion to the previous, also from Chief Waters of the Police Department. The Police Department is requesting council waive the bid process and grant the Police Department permission to purchase 3 Panasonic Toughbook computers from CDW-G. CDW-G has provided a state bid quote for the purchase. The 3 new Panasonic Toughbook computers will cost $9,372.06, which includes shipping. So, hang on a second. Whereas the Lincoln Park Police Department is requesting to purchase 3 Panasonic Toughbook in-car computers. Be it resolved that the mayor and council authorize the Lincoln Park Police Department to waive the bidding process and purchase 3 Panasonic Toughbook in-car computers for a total cost of $9,372.06, which includes shipping from CDW-G, a qualifying state bid supplier. Be it further resolved, the funds to come from the Police Department account -101.305.820 initially. Police Department JAG grant to fully reimburse the Police Department after the purchase has been made. And that's a Justice Assistant grant, I believe. I'll move on this.
Support with a question.
Yes, go ahead.
Is this the name of the company, the CDW-G? Is that the name of the company we're buying it from?
That is what I have on here. I will look further.
Yes, that is who we're
Okay.
buying them through. They're like a broker of for government purchases.
Very good. Okay.
All right. Thank you, Chief. Further discussion? All right, clerk, call the roll.
Mayor Carnes,
Yes.
Councilpersons Breeding,
Yes.
Higgins,
Yes.
Kelsey,
Yes.
Salcido,
Yes.
That's right.
short roll call.
All right, our next item also has a cover letter from the Chief of Police, and it has to do with the contract between the City of Lincoln Park and the Lincoln Park School Board. And the Police Department is requesting the council approve, renew the contract between the city and the Lincoln Park School Board. In why, this contract renews our previous agreement from 2017, allowing 2 full-time police officers to work in the Lincoln Park schools. The school board will continue to pay a portion of the wages and benefits for both officers. This agreement has been beneficial to both the Lincoln Park Police Department and the Lincoln Park School Board. These officers provide safety and a positive role model to the students. So we'll move on to the resolution, which is, whereas the Lincoln Park Public Schools and the City of Lincoln Park entered into an agreement in 2017, created 2 police liaison positions to work in the middle school and the high school to ensure public safety. This agreement expired at the end of the 2020 school year. Whereas this agreement has provided proved to be beneficial to both the Lincoln Park Public Schools and the Lincoln Park Police Department. Therefore, be it resolved, the mayor and council approve the renewal of the police liaison agreement between the Lincoln Park Public School District and the city of Lincoln Park, and be it further resolved, the mayor and city clerk are authorized to execute the liaison agreement.
So move.
Support.
So moved.
Okay.
Support.
Do we have discussion?
I have a question to the chair.
Your Honor?
Well, we have council president first, and I'll come back to you, sir.
Thank you.
Okay. I had brought this up with the city manager. Just a question. I wanted to know, under section 8, on the last page of this document, under the insurance, I was puzzled to see why it says that the party shall have the right, but not the obligation to provide, to procure and maintain insurance coverage. Is this the same language we approved before? You would think that it would say both parties agreed to this, but I wasn't sure if that's what was in the contract the last time. It's just, they may, but they're not obligated. It threw me. I wasn't sure if the city manager got a chance to check that out or not.
Mayor, I might be able to assist.
We have the city attorney here. Are you all receiving him?
I'll talk. Everybody, if you can hear me, the issue of insurance is something that both governmental entities do have covering the employees, and the employees work as an agent of the school district, so they're covered by the insurance, irrespective of what the provisions of the contract say. But if it makes you more comfortable to say shall provide insurance coverage, we'll ask the school board's attorney to change the language, and it would be a change from the past. And I don't deem it essential, but if it makes you comfortable with it and it's in your comfort zone, we'll ask Mr. Foley to change that language and submit it. But please don't hold up the adoption of the agreement just because of that.
No,
We'll ask them to
don't wanna
include the
hold it up.
language.
I just,
In my opinion, a council president would be immaterial, because if something happened, there are different types of coverage. One would be the liability insurance, which the city has since you're providing law enforcement, and the school district's liability as the officers or agents of the school district when they're in their employ. Secondly, the officers are covered under worker compensation at the same time.
okay.
The officers are working as police officers, even though the school district is reimbursing the city for their costs. So I think there still are employees.
Okay.
Good question, though.
Yep. Okay. Councilman Higgins, you were next.
Yeah, I just want to say what a really great asset it's been at the school to somebody who is there every day, all day. Police officers being there have done a wonderful thing being there, and this has been a great thing for both city and the schools. And this is something we have to continue.
I have to say,
That is all. I hope you're having.
I would have to say that working at the school district before the officers came in, and then after the officers, there's been a significant change for the better. I think both officers and those that have been in that position have done a wonderful job for us and continue to be great ambassadors for the police department there. Further discussion?
Yeah, through the chair, if I may, could you, Ed, send us a copy of the revised agreement when he gets it done or when it comes back, please?
I don't think there's any revisions thus far, are there, Mayor? They haven't asked to have that included.
No one asked to have that included, so as it stands, I don't think that there is going to be an amendment.
Oh, I apologize for the chair. I thought Ed said something about shall and getting with the city attorney, even though they were covered. I apologize. I misunderstood what he said.
The objection
Thank you.
the way it is.
Okay, sir. Do we have anything else?
No, I'm fine. Thank you.
Okay, very good. Then clerk, call the roll.
Councilpersons Breeding,
Yes.
Kelsey,
Yes.
Higgins,
Yes.
Salcido,
Yes.
and Mayor Carnes.
Yes. Okay, now we have a council claims payable and the first two items for Blue Cross and then the next item for HMC LLC, those items have been check released for due date as we get going into this. So resolved that the accounts and claims payable for those items greater than $25,000 be approved as follows. Blue Cross Blue Shield, July 2020 retiree Medicare, $35,989.90. Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan, July 2020 retirees and SB actives, $180,598.06. District Court, July 2020 payment, $49,255.17. Downriver Utility Wastewater Authority, June 2020 excess flow charges, $103,993. GFL Environmental USA Incorporated, July 2020 dumpster for city buildings and parks, residential curbside collection and recycling, $193,703.93. Great Lakes Water Authority, May 2020 water billing, $195,676.50. HMC LLC 2019 Utility Pavement Repairs Program, $65,982.17. MERS, June 2020 Defined Benefit, $201,565.92. City of Riverview, May 2020 Dumping Service, $33,526.08. Superion, RMS PD Computer System Yearly Fee, $31,345.34.
So moved.
Support.
Okay, discussion?
Question to the chair, to the city manager, and I think we answered it, but I asked him once before. The excessive flow charges, I think he said that we were still working on it with the wastewater conglomerate we belong to. How is that coming? Because I know I talked about it either 1 or 2 months ago, and he gave me some response, and I'm just wondering where that's at as far as them actually making the correction and getting where they're supposed to after, all the stuff we did, put monitors in there and all that stuff. If you could update, if it's through the chair, if you could, please.
Yeah, absolutely. So at the last meeting, the DUA board actually looked over an RFP for a rate study. And then I believe that RFP has already gone out. So they are moving forward with getting the professional service to do an actual rate study to find out what everybody really should be being charged. So that's kind of where that sits right now.
Okay. Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you, City Manager. Thank you.
All right, further discussion? Clerk, call the roll.
Councilpersons Kelsey,
Yes.
Higgins,
Yes.
Breeding,
Yes.
Salcido,
Yes.
and Mayor Carnes.
Yes. So we've reached the time of our city manager report. Mr. Grzan?
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, everybody. Real quick, we are now about 5 weeks into reopening of City Hall. Generally, things seem to be going pretty well, although we're really going to start being tested now as the tax bills have gone out and everybody's received them and are starting to come in and pay, which does give me a reminder that, if you can, use drop boxes, do whatever you can, send it by mail. I understand a lot of people do like to get that stamped receipt, but if you're okay without getting the stamped receipt, try and avoid coming in if you can. Our partnership with Gleaners for the food distribution last month went so well that Gleaners has actually expanded it. So for the next few months, they're going to be doing 2 distributions a month. So for this month, July 10th and July 24th from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. at the community center. August will be August 7th and 21st, also 9 to 11 a.m. at the community center. We had, I believe it was near 400 families come through our first time. So that was, it really went well. Didn't really hear a lot of issues with anything. This last weekend was 4th of July, and 4th of July brings with it fireworks. And I'm sure there's been a lot of discussion about it. Currently, we follow the state law as far as fireworks goes, which during this time of year allows for fireworks to be set off from June 29th, I believe, until the day after the 4th. In the next meeting, you'll probably see a quick change to our fireworks ordinance so that we can more closely match it. Our fireworks ordinance is a little older, and there's been some changes to the state law, so we need to get everything to get back to being consistent. Also, I do want to give everybody a heads up. Code enforcement is out working pretty hard, but with them not working for the months of April and May, they were a little bit behind, so they're still trying to catch up. But they are out. They are writing parking violations. They are writing the tall grass. They're out there. So if you do have any issues, please make sure you give them a call. We had a pretty significant rain event at the end of the month on the 26th where we had just over 2 inches of rainfall. And thankfully, we had a few reports of water backing up, but they were issues within the homeowners' sanitary sewer service lines, and they weren't issues within our system. Our system operated really well, though we can't account for the fact that a lot of trees had some issues, so we did have a lot of down branches. I do want to share, some really positive news here. We originally, back in about April, we were projecting an over $1 million budget deficit to end this fiscal year. I don't have the actual final numbers yet, but we made a significant dent into that through some cost savings measures, and we did get a little lucky with some of the revenue sharing not being hurt as badly, and our building department being able to get back to work earlier than we had projected. So we did end the fiscal year in a deficit, but it certainly was held in check a little bit. So that's really positive. The mayor did also mention getting through the annual the audit of minimum assessing requirements, the AMAR. This is a significant step. Since 2013, we've had a lot of difficulty with this. So to finally be able to get through with a clean AMAR really goes a long way. So it's really exciting, and it shows we're making some significant progress, and I think we're moving forward for the future. So other than that, I don't have a whole lot, but I'm happy to answer any questions.
Anybody?
Your Honor, for the city manager.
Go ahead, sir.
Hey, Mr. President, how are you?
Doing okay, how are you?
Doing all right. The Community Improvement Commission, were we going to appoint somebody today? I know it's Alan put an application in today.
We just got the application. I don't know if anybody's really had a chance to go through it, but
They have to be vetted first. They have to be checked through the police department and such.
That's all I have. Thank you very much.
Okay. Anyone else for the city manager just yet?
Through the chair, if I may, to the city manager.
Yes, go ahead.
Thank you. That was good news. A lot of good news you gave us. The only comment I would make is I was at the food distribution when unfortunately the traffic was so successful. The traffic was backed up on Dix and literally blocked the Emmons and down to Riverbank and Goddard because the people didn't want to get out of the line, so they kind of blocked it. The reason I know that it was when I left. I live on Riverbank, and I tried to make a left on Emmons at the light, and it was blocked. And I had to wait 3 or 4 to get through. So I would just suggest, because it's so successful, that we have some traffic control police officers or somebody, so that people don't block the entrances to the side streets, because they line up so long before it starts that they actually go up in Dix and go all the way down towards Goddard and keep going. And unfortunately, the residents are concerned about not getting their food, and the streets are blocked to the detriment of people coming and going. That's my only comment. Other than that, the thing is a very good benefit for the citizens and very well used, I might say.
Yeah, speaking with Dennis Anderson, our community center manager, who was on site that day, they are going to try and route traffic a little differently for this Friday. So, taking that into account, absolutely.
Thank you. Like I say, it was a very good, well attended event, a lot of volunteers, and it went real well. It was very successful. Thank you.
All right, anyone else? Hearing none?
If I may.
Sure, go ahead.
Hello? Okay. I'd like to talk about the Vandal and the cleanliness of Vandal. I brought this up numerous times. It is a public building. We have, and I know we're having problems because the DPS is off once a week, but a week less over there, we have the weeds over there, and we need it to be taken care of. That's all.
Okay. James, were you able to hear that? I had a little difficulty, but
That you were asking about the weeds at the band shell, yes?
The weeds, and there's also glass and part. It's a public building needs to be taken care of.
Absolutely. Thank you.
all right.
Thank you.
Then at this time, we'll go to citizen communications. So, James, I look you to unmute folks, I guess.
Yeah, so I will unmute. I guess I'll unmute everybody because there's not a whole lot of public right now. So I'm going to unmute everybody, and they can speak up if they'd like to speak, and you can call on them.
Okay, Sue, go ahead. Identify yourself.
Yeah, I was kind of hoping that Chief Ray Waters would be here.
You need to identify yourself first. I'm sorry.
Sue Sucheta, Downriver Sunday Times reporter. I have driven by RTB Gym on 4th Street by White Avenue several times, and they have been open and operating very visibly. I even walked by there one time when I was heading to a nearby business. They are open and operating in violation of the governor's orders. Now, I know in other cities, open gyms have been cited by the police and they've been given cease and desist orders. I'm wondering why this gym that is within walking distance of the police department has not been shut down, has not been cited by the police officers. That concerns me. They are an open violation of the governor's order, which is meant to protect us all from COVID and the strip. So does someone want to address why that gym is openly operating and has not been shut down by the police?
Well, this isn't a press conference as we're going. This is for an opportunity for citizens to express what is going on. You have raised an issue, and we'll make sure that the police department is aware of it. Do you have something else now?
Will you ask the chief to answer my question directly? Because oftentimes when I leave him a voicemail or an email, it doesn't get answered. So if you would put your weight behind it as mayor to ask him to respond to why that gym has not been given a cease and desist order, I would like to.
Okay, very good. If you send him an email and CC me, we will have this conversation or this discussion tomorrow. Okay?
Okay. Do you as mayor feel that that gym should be shut down?
This isn't a question and answer opportunity. This is an opportunity for citizens to speak about things that cannot be obtained during the course of the day. This is not appropriate for now. So do you have a statement that you would like to make or something that you
Yes, my statement is that I'm very surprised that the city of Lincoln Park has allowed this gym to be open in violation of the governor's orders. It's very visible from 4th Street. It's within walking distance of the police department. And I would really hope that there's no police officers working out in that gym. So I really hope that the elected officials and the police department will act to shut that gym down immediately. And that is my personal opinion. Thank you.
Okay. I'm sorry, were you finished?
Yeah, I'm done.
Okay. Anybody else that wishes to be heard under citizen communications? All right, I'm not hearing anyone right now, so we'll move on to oral reports of the council, and we have Council President Breeding.
Yes, the city manager stole some of my thunder. I had received so many phone calls about the fireworks, and I was very surprised. The clerk was kind enough to give me a copy of the state firework ordinance, and so obviously my question would have been, are we going to amend our ordinance? But he's already brought that up, and so it will help the citizens out there at least. I know that it's very hard to regulate it and issue tickets or whatever, but the fireworks have just been awful this year. Anyways. And also I wanted to remind everyone that they can pay their taxes and get it stamped paid at the Lincoln Park Community Credit Union. So if you don't want to come into City Hall, or if there's lines at City Hall or whatever, you go to the credit union up at 4th Street in Emmons and you can pay it there and they'll mark it paid. And I wanted to welcome Councilman Parkinson back to his home. I'm pleased that he was well enough to come home. Hopefully everything is going well, and I thought he might be on tonight, but he's not. But welcome home, Tom. The revenue sharing funding, I was pleased that they did not cut it at all. I expected the state to cut it, so that was very good news. And everyone got their absentee ballots. I want you to know Lincoln Park has never, ever had any problem with absentee ballots. Elections are fair and accurate, and you can trust the city clerk, and her staff will take care of it. So please, if you don't want to stand in line with this virus around or whatever, do your absentee ballot. Anyone can vote. You don't have to have a reason these days, and it'll be much easier for you and much easier. It won't be easier for the clerk. I'm sorry, Carrie. But anyway, so I just wanted to remind everyone that we have fair and legal and efficient elections in Lincoln Park, and I'm sure it will continue that way. Okay. Now, I have something that has bothered me. I understand that a private club used the Kennedy Memorial Building for an evening meeting. And all of our buildings, mayor and council passed resolutions stating we were not going to utilize that. We had to refund their deposits where they had reserved the rooms and everything else. And everything was supposed to be discontinued using that building up until at least August. And I understand that this club used the building, and someone from the club has a master key, and they actually went through the private offices down there, and they had no business in the private offices. Hopefully they didn't use the restrooms. But my concern and my question was, is this organization, this private club, did they make arrangements to have that building sanitized after they had their meeting there? Because otherwise we're jeopardizing the employees that had to go into that facility afterwards if in fact it was not thoroughly cleaned. So I don't think that we need to put people in harm's way with this virus still active. So I have no idea if in fact they actually had a special cleaning, but it's too late now because obviously it's already over and done with, but I was not pleased at all. So that's all that I have tonight.
Okay, just in a little response to that, the club that did have a meeting was the Exchange Club, and the meeting was not held inside of the building. It was just simply on the cement patio outside with social distancing and the like. I don't know if anyone gained entry, but no one used the restroom, and there was no intent to use anything of that nature. It was simply all outside. And when Judge Clifton was brought into being president of the club, so It was not a scheduled indoor part of it. I don't know if someone gained access through a key, but none of the club members, the official club members, or any part of it was inside frolicking or whatever else. It was just a meeting that was on the outside on the cement part to.
Well, that's perfectly fine, except that someone did go into the private offices.
All right.
So okay.
Move on to Councilman Salcido.
Good evening, residents of Lincoln Park. Your Honor, I'll have a couple items. The chicken rotisserie and grill did open on 4th Street, and we probably talked about it last time. It's on Buckingham, right on 4th Street. They got everything you want about chicken, soft salad, tacos, burritos, fajitas. Please check that restaurant out. Also, with the heat, keep your pets safe. Make sure you have plenty of water. Watch for our senior citizens. I know I grew up in Lincoln Park. We never had air conditioning, and I only hope that most people do have air conditioning now. So watch your neighbors. And also, Councilman Parkinson, I hope you feel better. And that's all I have, Your Honor. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. We'll move on to Councilman Higgins.
Thank you, Your Honor. And I have to acknowledge I've been having problems with tech and computer freezing up. So I'm hoping that everybody else hearing better than I was. But I do have some things I would like to go over. I'm going to try slow so that maybe it'll be heard better. The Lincoln Park schools will be doing their food giveaway tomorrow as they do on Tuesdays. It has been moved from the high school to the middle school. They have been giving away over 2,000 meals a day when they do this. It starts at 10 o'clock, goes to 1 o'clock, and again, they're moving it to middle school. So also please make sure the police know that it's going to be there because they'll help track. Like to let you all know. I'd like to remember that Hannah that it was a Moray, it's all golden gift, there have been, public and problems here. We are calling, Linton, 82, 4th Street. Please go in, buy a ticket, and the also would like to announce that they will be holding a meeting at the same address on the 18th with some very big things to go over, and we would like to invite everybody who would like to be there. That's all I have for tonight. Thank you, and I'm sorry you can't very clear. I wish I could hear you guys. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilman Kelsey.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'd like to give a shout out to a couple local businesses, Yum Yum Donuts, which I always like having donuts and coffee, so I'll give them a shout out like I usually do. Harry's Corned Beef Ham, open and still doing good work as far as the food goes, and I can attest to that. And a special thank out to 4th Street Plumbing. I had an issue up north with a faucet, and this gentleman, who was a master plumber there, took the time and the effort to go over piece by piece how to take this faucet apart and gave me all the parts, and when I come up north to do it, everything worked out the way he said. And that's extraordinary to me that that gentleman would take that kind of time with me as a customer. So I want to say that I'm very grateful to 4th Street Plumbing. I'm very confident that I'll be doing my business there. The gentleman was excellent. He didn't know me from anybody else. Me and my wife walked in. We had this issue. And I just want to say that the businesses in Lincoln Park are very, very helpful and very, very comfortable talking and giving advice to people and helping them out. And I think that's great in this day and age. A couple other things. I don't know about, I wasn't home for the fireworks, but I know they were going off and there was some confusion between the city's ordinance and the state ordinance. So I'm glad we're finishing to straighten that out. The issue is too is a lot of people are unfortunately are not obeying some of the rules, but that goes with the territory. I just hope they're safe when they shoot them off with the neighbors. But evidently we didn't have any problems with anything else with the fireworks, so that's pretty good in that respect. And lastly, I'd like to ask the city manager officially in my capacity as a fiduciary of the city, look into the issue about if somebody did get into the band shell offices. If somebody's got a key they're not supposed to have, I would appreciate it and actually ask you that you confiscate that key. And if it isn't, then I'd like to know, that didn't happen. But I'd like you to, as the city manager of the city, to investigate that and at least report back to me anyways. I'm curious. And if it's not, that's fine. If it is, I'd like to know what's going on. Either way. But other than that, I hope everybody had a great 4th of July. I certainly did, and I did definitely sweat it a lot because it was beautiful. And Tom Parkinson, I missed your phone call today, but I was busy, and I know you told me you were coming home, and I'm glad to see that you are home. And yeah, I hope you're doing well, and it's glad to see you back in the saddle, so to speak. So thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, sir. We do have a lot of good people out there that are working for us, with us, business owners and such, that what you described, I'm sure is true of 100 of businesses in town. At least it's been my experience that has taken place. So more the reason that they should be aware of the CDBG COVID loan grant program that we have. So if folks, you are going out to these businesses, please go ahead and advise them about that, and at least put it in. At this past week, there was an official grand reopening through the Southwest Wayne County Chamber and the DCC, Downriver Community Conference, that got together and had a support downriver, basically, is what the hashtag is. There's a sign that was out in front of the department here. And what we want to do with that hashtag support downriver is to draw attention to businesses, give them a little bit of a boost up during the time when we're just coming out of COVID here. So if you have an opportunity, it's hashtag support downriver. And if you're in a business and you're used to Facebook and such, check in at those businesses and put that hashtag, because it'll give those businesses a little bit of free publicity to all of downriver. And we want to get the word out because, as the councilman said, we have some great people that are out here working. And it was mentioned that the club had been there. I can give you my word in reference that nobody was going through private offices or any of that stuff that was happening. There was no time that I was not aware of or what was going on at that right in the section in front of it. So that is not the case. I started off with the mayor's comments at the beginning of this, praising our community, how we were doing with our COVID response and following the rules. I was not aware of before tonight that there was a circumstance involving a business that is open that should not be open. But as a result, a complaint has been registered. It has been known. The police department is represented on this call, and we'll investigate it in the morning. That's how it works. Something is brought to their attention, and it's taken care of. So with that, just enjoy the summer that is dissipating rapidly here. It'll be snowing before you know it, so you'll be wanting these 90-degree days back at some point. And with that, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So move.
So move.
Support.
So we have a mover and supporter. Carrie, please call the roll.
Councilperson Salcido?
Yes.
Breeding?
Yes.
Higgins?
Yes.
Kelsey?
Yes.
And Mayor Carnes?
Yes.
It's Michigan. You watch tomorrow's snow.
You probably we will.
Just because you